Okay, now I want to show you one of my favorite ways to carry my own baby when she was a tiny little newborn. It's called the cuddle hold, and it's a vertical hold. So if your baby is the type that likes to be held up like this and bounced around and gets a lot of comfort from that, this is the perfect hold for you. Here's my sling already threaded from the last time I wore it. I'm going to put it on my right shoulder. I could also put it on my left if I wanted to. And this time, instead of having the inside rail up against me, it becomes the bottom rail, and it's going to be down this time. Again, adjust to a reasonable size for your baby, but don't make it too small or you won't be able to get your baby in. Okay, so we're going to leave it like this, and I'm going to go get the baby. Okay, here's my baby again. I'm sure you remember her from the last time. Say hi. Okay, so the snuggle hold, in the snuggle hold the baby is up against you. You want to make sure that the baby's head doesn't get buried in your chest, so always make sure that her head is turned one way or the other. Okay, I've got my sling on and ready to go, so I'm just going to ease my baby with one hand up into the sling while I hold it open with the other. Now here you have the option of your baby's feet being either in or out. If you choose to put baby's feet in, cross them over, crisscross applesauce, or bend their knees a little bit like fetal position, and just leave them inside the sling like this. My baby always liked to have her feet out, so her feet always stuck out the bottom like this. Okay. Always remember to support the baby's weight with one hand or the other while you're getting everything all adjusted. So my baby's feet are now out, and I'm going to adjust the bottom rail first, just so that I have that little bit of added extra support while I'm adjusting everything else. And I do that by pulling on this outside seam. Then I'm going to adjust this fabric that's underneath the baby's bum. This baby doll doesn't have much of a bum. Your baby will have more of a bum than that. But either way, adjust it by pulling on the middle of the tail. Now, this is a really important safety tip. Always make sure that your baby's bottom is lower than his knees. That just means make a nice little seat for him in your sling. Make sure that his knees are higher than his bum so that he can't kick and slip out the bottom of the sling. I never had that problem. But it's always good to make sure that you double check every time you put the baby in your sling. Okay, it's nice and tight on the bottom. Baby's head is to the side so she can breathe. And I'm going to just go ahead and ease up the rest of the sling and adjust accordingly. You just adjust as you go. It does take a little time and practice, but eventually you get better at it. And again, I'm going to wear the baby high so that I don't hurt my back. I'm going to make sure that the sling remains low on my shoulder, not up against my neck, and that the rings don't slip too low. That just makes it uncomfortable for you and the baby. So you just keep spreading it out. Now here at this point, the baby has the option of having his arms out like this, so I could go ahead and tighten it nice and tight across his back. Or my baby always liked to have her arms in. So just slip baby's arms in and continue to tighten. And there you go, nice and snuggly. Say bye-bye. I thought now might also be a good time while I'm wearing my baby in this position to explain to you what to do to adjust your baby as you go. Seems like whenever the baby relaxes or just over time, things might start to slide a little bit. You get a little far down, you might start to get a little uncomfortable. If that happens, simply support the baby's weight, bring the baby back up to where you want the baby to be, which should be pretty much right under your chin. Just think about where you're comfortable carrying your baby in your arms, and that should be about where you carry your baby in the sling. So support the baby's weight with this hand, and just bring the baby up to where you want her to be, and then just continue to adjust. So just remember, as a rule of thumb, always support your baby's weight first, and then adjust your sling. rather than trying to fight the weight of your baby while adjusting your sling. Oh, and in case you forgot from the last time, to get your baby out, you simply pull on this exposed top ring straight out until your sling is loose enough that you can ease your baby out. And there you go. Oh, and I also wanted to show you an alternative way of getting your baby into the snuggle hold in case you're having trouble putting your baby down from the top. Hang on just a minute. Okay, if you're having trouble getting your baby into the snuggle hold from the top while holding onto your sling, simply hold your baby and with one hand, if you can, put your sling on. It takes a little practice, but it can be done. Then you can slide the sling over the top of your baby rather than trying to put your baby down into the sling. You can see I don't have as much practice doing it this way because I usually just put my baby in from the top. There you go. And then you just make the necessary adjustments, just exactly like I showed you before. But that's just an alternative way to get your baby into the sling, into the snuggle hold.